very, very simple, guys. Put together a one-page slide that will help you understand what the Web3 is. Now, I want to bring your attention to these elements here. I'll put 3 arrows pointing to Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3. To put this into context, guys, Web 3 is the 3rd generation of the World Wide Web. It is currently developing, that's why they call it work in progress. It is a vision of a decentralized and open web with greater utilities for members, especially for us with Crowd1. This has become a very exciting phenomenon. Now, when we talk about Web 1, if you remember a couple of years ago, Web 1 was simply the owners of content simply post something on the internet and we would go there and read, and we couldn't interact with whatever information was there on the website. Then we transitioned to Web 2. Web 2 became a read and write. What is the example of Web 2? People have started interacting on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, where you could create your own little videos you post, and everybody can interact with them, like what you have posted, make a little bit of comments there. That is basically read and write Web 2 interactive. We have now transitioned into Web 3. Each and every one of us in this house tonight is already interacting with Web 3. When you deal with crypto, you have already started interacting with Web 3. So when you look at what Crowd1 is trying to do, it's trying to reposition itself for the evolving web of interaction. So in Web 3, you've got read, write, trust, verifiable. If you look at what Crowd1 and the promises that they are giving for the future, when we begin to get into your NFTs, when we begin to go into the tokens and the metaverse itself, you as a member of Crowd1, you'll be able to interact far beyond what you can just do in WhatsApp, Twitter, and these other videos. You can get into this virtual world and it's going to become very, very easier. So as I go on, it's going to become more and more clear when I show you 1 or 2 slides. I've started to make it very, very graphic. So we moved from Web 3 into the metaverse. What is the metaverse? Imagine a virtual world in which people live, work, shop, and interact with others, all from the comfort of their couches. Right now, as we speak, we are interacting. You are sitting in your own homes. Some of you guys, I can see you are sitting in your cars. Some are in the lounges. Some are in transit. Guys, this is called the metaverse. It is a world where you can come in and interact with each other without any limitations. Metaverse simply means meta is virtual, and the verse is simply the universe. So they take these words, they combine them together, and they call it the metaverse, a virtual world where you can do anything that you want. For those of you that are already interacting with Planet IX, you may have an idea of what the metaverse is all about and what it's trying to bring together here. When you look at a company like Facebook, they've rebranded themselves from Facebook into Meta. Facebook was giving you an experience of posting your pictures and your content on Facebook. Now they are busy preparing themselves where you're going to go into that virtual community. And that is where Crowd1 is actually ahead of even the Facebook element itself, because we are already getting into this metaverse of interaction and creating all these NFTs. Now, let's move on to the NFTs. NFT simply stands for non-fungible tokens, which means it can neither be replaced or interchangeable because it's unique. Crowd1 has come up with a very, very clever way creating NFTs, guys. NFTs is not a mystery. Anybody can create their own NFT. You can take yourself a picture of a selfie and go onto the blockchain and upload that, and it becomes an NFT. What Crowd1 has done, as you know what Crowd1 is, it's an affiliate company, bringing in all those affiliate organizations into one place to tap into the 50 million member database. So the clever move with Crowd1 is to create these NFTs that you have seen called Earth, Air, Water, and Fire. For those of you that were in Dubai, you were able to take some of those goggles and put them on, and you enter a totally brand new world. So there is nothing that is rocket science about NFTs. The beauty about NFTs at Crowd1 is that they have been created. The power of you simply clicking one button to take ownership of those NFTs and the value, the asset value that they possess, it makes it very easy for you to actually own these NFTs. So when you hear NFTs, do not be mesmerized or confused or anything. It's a very, very simple. It's an asset that has been created. The moment an NFT is created, it has to have a community behind it. A lot of NFTs on the market right now, guys, have got communities as much as 30,000 people that have subscribed to those NFTs. And their values have moved from $1 to probably $500. Now, can you imagine if each and every one of us 15 million members from Crowd1 tap into these NFTs and what the value of NFTs are going to be? It's frightening when I talk about these NFTs and the potential that Crowd1 is trying to tap in and actually get goosebumps. I'm very excited about these NFTs and the crypto market. Now, to give you just an overview, both cryptocurrencies and NFTs use the blockchain network for ownership verification. Remember what I was talking about verification, the way cryptocurrencies happen in the beginning on Web3. That is why these NFTs can only be interacted in Web3, and Crowd1 is taking that direction. However, unlike cryptocurrency, an NFT can't be directly exchanged for another NFT. So you will not have anybody in the world coming in and creating a water or fire NFT. Crowd1 has already locked into that. Anybody who is going to have that primary interest into the Crowd1 NFTs that we have created has to go through Crowd1, become a member like you and I. That's why there's this massive and huge promotion about us taking up these element NFTs for the new packages that Crowd1 has created. NFTs are sold but not traded like securities on digital exchanges. In other words, you can take a Bitcoin and exchange it into Ethereum. NFT do not operate like that. It's a unique, non-interchangeable. Each NFT is not equal in value, as each represents a different physical and digital item. You have seen how Crowd1 has lined them up. The cheaper entry level, which is your basic package. Then you go into air, you go into water and fire. Each one of them, they carry a different set of value and they are not interchangeable. You cannot actually divide the NFTs. An NFT is an NFT. Whereas with cryptocurrency, you can say, you know what, I'm going to give you half of this cryptocurrency and you can take 0.5 or 0.8 or 0.6 or whatever. And next, just to give you the future of Web3, crypto, blockchain, and metaverse. The metaverse is defined as a virtual reality space in which users can interact. A lot of you have been interacting already on Planet IX. The metaverse is evolving into an increasingly vast community that most companies are beginning to actually look and pay attention to the metaverse. And I've given you just a few examples of how this thing called NFTs, metaverse, blockchain, and crypto is going to affect your future. The first one is financial services. NFTs provide users with digital ownership, driving the emergence of new access to classes of trading. When we go into Planet IX, there's trading of land, there's trading of property, there's trading of a whole lot of other things. The things that you couldn't actually do. You could be sitting in Philippines or Dubai and you could buy land, you could buy buildings in South Africa, you could buy buildings in America. That's what the Web3 is bringing into play. The automobile and manufacturing industry, you have already seen, Google has already released, those cars that are driverless. Those cars are using the metaverse concept. They have taken the map of a community and taken it into the metaverse, and that driverless car is actually driving you in real life using the metaverse context. Real estates, we've talked about the Planet Iris, how you are able to buy land. In terms of education is even very when they talked about the metaverse and education. Today, the doctors are able to operate on a human being simply by using the metaverse. They get into the human body with the metaverse, and with precision, they can operate those complicated operations on people or human beings, for the advancement of medical technology. Retail and consumer brands. This is why it is exciting. Again, those that were in Dubai were able to get some of those goggles and you put in and you enter into a totally different world out there. We didn't understand when we put on those goggles because we could see the new packages Crowd1 was actually demonstrating before they were revealed to us. Now, can you imagine you get into the metaverse and you could see the advert of Coca-Cola, you could see the advert of Crowd1, you could see the advert of BMW. All these companies, when they know that Crowd1 has got a community of 50 million people, they could bring in their brands into our metaverse. And that is going to be a massive revenue stream for an organization like Crowd1. And that's why people like me are very, very excited about the blockchain. So guys, when you hear about Web3, it's very, very simple. It's simply the evolution of the World Wide Web. Instead of you just going there to Google and you get your content, you can now interact, create your own content on the internet. When we talk about crypto, we are already interacting. When you do your withdrawals, you withdraw your euros or your business points into Bitcoin. You gotta translate that. Crowd1 is already leading in that industry. The blockchain technology is what allows Crowd1 to enter into the metaverse. The metaverse itself is simply a virtual universe where each and every one of us can actually meet at this particular hour. We can go to get into that community and interact with Web3. So that was a little piece that I just wanted to make sure that when you hear the next speaker talk about Web3, crypto, blockchain, and metaverse, it begins to make a lot of sense. NFTs, on the other hand, are very, very simple. Crowd1, guys, is keeping up with the trends. When we started in 2019, you will realize and remember that there were a lot of things that we were trying to do, introduce as affiliate programs. Some of those have fallen off. Crowd1 hasn't followed them through. The reason is very simple. The World Wide Web is evolving and improving every single day. So when we talk about Web3, this is the right place where you need to be. Thank you very much, Sister Gillette. I don't know if there's any questions now.
Okay, thank you, Colleen. That was